Is Jackboys 2 dropping in just a couple of hours? Obviously, we all expected this July 11th. It's not looking that great right now when it comes to this thing actually dropping tomorrow on the 11th, but there's still a bunch of new info on this that we haven't talked about in the last video I dropped yesterday and that we now have to pick up on, especially also considering the track list and the length of the record. So today we'll talk about all of that, so let's jump straight into this.
If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description.
You can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and recaps everything that's been happening in hip-hop over the past week, so make sure to do that. Now, as I said, a lot of us expect Jackboys 2 to be dropping tomorrow, July 11th. This was first fueled by the rumors that Travis wanted to drop the same day as Pusha T, who's dropping his Clips album, Let God Sort Him Out, tomorrow. And then we had this beef that Pusha started with Travis, and then Travis followed Worko, the meme account, on X after he posted the release date of July 11th. It all looked like that, especially also after we got the single 2000 Excursion with Sheck West and Don Toliver just this week, and we thought that, okay, this didn't even drop on streaming, so maybe this was just an unofficial release on social media and YouTube, and they're dropping the album tomorrow on Friday. Now, obviously, we didn't get any new info on it, so at this point, I think it's not looking that great that it's dropping tomorrow. It could honestly be the 18th, and tomorrow we just get the single officially on streaming services. Let's see how it turns out. As I said, at the point of recording this, we don't have info on this. Obviously, if we learn anything more about this, I'll keep sure to make you all updated, so make sure you stay subscribed. Now, as I said, we have to talk about the track list because we talked about this already. A bunch of features on here. I think we counted 10 in total that are going to be featured on this record. It is obviously a lot. And we said that this won't just be a 7-track album like the first one because there's just way too many features to fit on 7 tracks. And obviously there's also going to be some solo tracks with just the Jackboys members, like 2000 Excursion. So we were looking at a 10 to 20 track list at this point, which could be realistic. And one interesting thing that a lot of people pointed out is that on the shop website, when you go to purchase the vinyls, it actually has a little notification, a little disclaimer right there. And this wasn't very popular with fans. But for example, if you were just to purchase the Jackboys 2 vinyl, in this case, it's the bold cover. We're still not sure which cover it's going to be. It says limited edition first pressing vinyl with bold cover. This was on Spotify, I believe, the Spotify shop implementation. And it says includes 7 select songs from Jackboys 2, premium white disc, limit 4 per customer, ships upon album release. So a lot of people said, whoa, 7 tracks. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that the album is going to be 7 tracks. It says includes 7 select songs from Jackboys 2. So there's more, but 7 select ones are on the vinyl. Now, a lot of times this is a practice that artists do or publishers do when you don't have the album finished and you only have a couple of singles or first couple of, single songs that you can put out there finished. And, vinyls take a long time to actually be manufactured. So they need to go into production a long time before the album releases because they need to ship on album's release date. And so maybe by the time they were doing this vinyl, they only had 7 songs finished. Now, some of this is also connected to the amount of songs you can press onto a vinyl, but that wouldn't be a problem. You just do multiple discs like any other artist. But maybe it's also going to be one of these things where if you want all the tracks on vinyl, you're going to have to purchase all 4 of the different covers that you can get for the vinyl, which would in total then be 4 times 7, 28 tracks. Now, I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's going to be maybe some overlapping. That is kind of the calculation that people were making. Let's see if this is how it turns out. It's definitely an interesting detail, though. So if you were any of these people that pre-ordered the vinyls, you're only getting 7 tracks. You're not getting the entire record. I think that's very important to point out to customers because they're spending their money on this. And it maybe shows that they were a little bit late on turning in the songs. Let's see, though. Let's see. It's definitely going to be more than 7 tracks if it's select songs that are on here. Now, speaking of the cover, we still have these 4 different versions of them that we talked about in the last video. It's still unsure which one it's going to be. You know, we had different versions. You can purchase the vinyls for each one. It's just, you know, in the end, it needs to be one, as I talked about just yesterday. It needs to be one that is decided on. You can't have multiple ones on digital streaming services. So in the end, they need to pick one. Still, let me know which one is your favorite. Honestly, the longer I look at them, I think the mask one is my favorite, even though I always talked about how it needs to grow on me. But I do think realistically it could be one of the gang versions that you can have, because it just features all of them, and it features the Jackboys 2 logo that was also on the Lamborghini that Travis was giving out to all of the features. So that is definitely one that I could see realistically being, but as I said, we don't know which one it's going to be. One interesting side fact that I did want to show you that a lot of people talked about on X is that in the music video for 2000 Excursion, which hopefully all of you have seen, great song. By the way, it samples Power by Ye. This is something that I haven't talked about, but a lot of people pointed out. Obviously amazing. That's insane. But there is one scene where you can see that one of the cars in the music video, one of the Ferraris, has a GTA 6 license plate. So it says GTA and then, you know, the Roman numerals for 6 and then 6. And this is obviously something that a lot of people speculated about. A lot of people say, oh, whatever, Drake needs to have his own radio station on GTA 6. There's apparently some leaks around that. Let's see if it actually happens. But in this case, it could be the case for Travis Scott. They're teasing GTA 6 in this trailer. We don't know if it's just an Easter egg. We don't know if this was just somebody who had to pick the license plate and he was just being funny with it. Or if this is a hint, if, you know, Jackboys 2 is going to have its own radio station, going to be somehow featured in GTA 6 as a soundtrack, as whatever. Could definitely be. I don't know, man. It's definitely a possibility, but it's something that people were very excited about. And it's these small details. I always talk about this. With Travis Scott, it's these small details that matter. Every little thing actually has some sort of meaning behind it. This is not random. This could actually be a big thing. But as I said, let me know what you think about everything we talked about today. It's still a lot. Let's see what happens tonight. It's still some time before the album drops. What do you think about the music video with the GTA 6 thing? Do you think there's something behind it? And what do you think, especially the most interesting thing we talked about today, is the vinyls with the 7 tracks, in my opinion. That's definitely something that we need to have an eye on, see how that develops, see what that actually means, because it could be anything. But let me know all your thoughts on everything we talked about today in the comments down below.
If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and you'll take care.